We open the door. I don't stop laughing for the next hour and a half. Titties, pussies, everything is out. So, this is going to be a story about the first 2 weeks I was an intern, where I was introduced to a whole new world of wealth, a lot of shitty people, and I mean, it was pretty sick for me. So, why don't you come in today, January 20th, 4 p.m.? Pretty chilly day out. So, why don't you come in, make yourself comfortable on this blue couch? We're at my stepmom's condo today. It's small, it's quaint, but it's quite comfortable. She usually rents this out on Airbnb. You know, she always makes sure the cleaning fees are higher than the actual cost of the place. But for you, today, it's free. So why don't we get started? It was in 2019. I was going to graduate in May. I was applying around and I got an offer for, I didn't even know what the position was really. It was an internship, no idea what they did, nothing. Talked to the chief of staff on the phone, and I scheduled my start date to be the day of my graduation. 'Cause I already knew I was gonna skip that shit. Uh, funnily enough, I don't know why I phrased it like that, as if it was related to anything. Uh, One of the questions I asked on the phone was, "What's the dress code?" Because this was gonna be my first time in an actual office. I have no idea what to expect. She laughs and is like, "I don't know, something nice." So I pull up to Target like a week before, buy a cheap suit, top and bottom, show up to the office. Didn't need to wear. I should have just worn a button up. I don't think I wore that suit a single other time. Show up to the office, kind of get situated, and this is still relevant to the dress code thing because this made me laugh. Uh, we have an all staff meeting in the conference room. Everyone's there. The CEO's talking, and then he wants to introduce me. He says, "Ricky, why don't you introduce yourself?" I stand up and start talking. He instantly cuts me off, says, "You don't got to stand up." And then I sit down and I'm like, "Hey, it's me, Ricky. Uh, it's pretty much all there is to me." Everyone in there was wearing suits that were thousands and thousands of dollars, for sure. But besides that, everything was kind of going what I would expect. I start being given data entry tasks, some small reports to write, a lot of moving stuff around. I also went to the grocery store for snacks. Even later on, when there was more interns, I would always offer because I would just go there and buy myself a ton of food to take home. I still have a lot of Trader Joe's bags from those trips because I would always buy the very expensive, nice ones. And that was all the work related stuff I did. The chief of staff, though, she pretty immediately started being very flirty with me. She would also, throughout the whole time working there, always invite me out to the back to watch her smoke cigarettes like 7 times a day. Uh, Quite a handful of times she had me pour some wine into her Starbucks coffee cup. Hey, she was kind of sick. To uh, to fast forward a little bit because there is an important part. One of the most memorable part happened about 2 weeks into this internship. My day to day was like I said, and then on a Wednesday, in the middle of the day, someone asks me, "Hey, do you want to go to Chef's Best?" It's some event where they got all the best chefs in the city. They all have little stands, and you get a ton of free food. And we'd be there for like 2 hours. I said, "Fuck yeah, free food, nice as hell." And it was that same day I realized I was working for lobbyists. So that explained why they were so rich. And so their whole job just seemed like it was just talking to people. So my plan at that point, pretty straightforward. I think most people would do the same thing. Next day, I come in, didn't eat breakfast, didn't eat lunch. I was ready to fill up. I was looking at the site. They didn't have bartenders there. They had mixologists. Very cool. Event doesn't start till 6:30, so I am famished. I had to stay a little late because they had me do something. So I show up by myself. Very quickly, I bump into three people who will be here throughout the whole story. There's a few others who join. One was a lobbyist who I hadn't actually met somehow in those 2 weeks. An intern that started that day, and some lady from the marketing side of stuff. This lobbyist, as soon as we made eye contact, we just started laughing nonstop. And that happened the whole time. That happened every single time. I don't know if we said a word really to each other conversationally. And then everyone just wanted to stand around talking on the bottom of this staircase. I started shooing around. I was like, "Can we go eat? I am so fucking hungry." Went in immediately. I was 22. I hadn't like drunk outside of a house much, maybe like once, because I didn't have the fucking money to do it. So I was hyped. I immediately saw a bartender, mixologist, went up to him, and keep in mind, I was just drinking like beers at home and random made up cocktails. I go up to him and I ask for a glass of vodka. Just just a glass of vodka. And he looks at me and he says, "Are you sure you just want vodka? You don't want anything else with it?" And I kind of fumble. My thought process here was, we were gonna be here 2-3 hours. It's all free. I mapped it all out in my mind. I was gonna have two quick drinks in the beginning, so I could be very tipsy, and then have two more drinks over the rest of the couple hours. So then I could just go home a little buzzed and be pumped about all the free shit I get at this job. So I look the mixologist in the eyes and I say, "No, just a glass of vodka, and then can you also make me a drink?" And this was purely, I looked behind him, saw orange juice, remembered screwdrivers existed. That's where I had my first one. One of the only times. That drink kind of ass. Downed the glass, then carried around the screwdriver. I was so pissed. I don't know why I thought it would be different. They weren't like making you meals at any of these stalls. They were giving you half a bite of food. So I had to stop at every single one to not really feel full at any point. Kept bumping into my coworkers. They were all kind of staying grouped for the most part. I was just trying to fucking eat, get out of there. Um, so yeah, we're all grouped up. I ate a shitload of things. Someone was like, "Hey, what's at that stall over there? That looks good." I go over there and I think, "Holy shit, they actually have a real portion of food." It was a big bowl, and I thought it was like some cool coconut thing. I had I don't know, man. I was probably on my third drink by this point. I grab it, big bowl, bring it to the table. Everyone looks at me and they're like, "What is that?" I said, "I don't know, some fancy coconut shit." I put my hand in, take a bite. That's straight Parmesan. It's crazy. I laughed so much. My Terry and I, we looked each other in the eyes and laughed. The stupid lady from marketing was like, "Oh, now you have to throw it out." I was like, "I'm not gonna." I touched a piece of Parmesan and ate it. I'm not gonna throw. This is hundreds of dollars of Parmesan. It was so much. Um. Anyways, went and took that back there. And, it's kind of slowing down. I get myself another drink, keep snacking around, shoot the shit with people. Me and Terry Still, at this point, the coworkers are like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys?" Then there's some announcement on some megaphone. By the way, the venue here is it was some hotel with a gigantic convention hall. Some announcement happens, then lobbyists start showing up, other lobbyists from the company. I didn't even know they were there, like three more of them. We all group up. They say, "Oh, we have a table." Cool, I guess. I guess we go sit down for 30 minutes. I have no idea what this event is, anyways. We all sit down. Uh, Immediately, the CEO he pulls out of his pocket a plaque with our company name, puts it on the center of the table, and we sit there. A PowerPoint presentation comes up. The speaker says something about, "Hey, thanks for coming to the AIDS Foundation event," or something to prevent AIDS. I don't know. So quickly, it was less than a minute of sitting there. The CEO says, "Hey, you guys want to go to the hotel bar?" It's like, fuck it. Why? Yeah. We all go. We all get up. Such a nice bar. I was like, fuck. Well, now I got to drink more. Uh, Nice menu. I haven't drunk out before at all, and this is a nice place. I don't know what to order. They go around, they're ordering. They say, "Hey, Ricky, what do you want?" And I say, "What are you having?" to the CEO, because he's the one who asked. And then he said it. I got it, looked on the menu. That was like a $75 glass of whiskey. It was all right. I kind of just downed it. Another round ended up happening down that. But during all of this discussion, or between those drinks, the lobbyists are just telling stories back and forth about all the shit that was going down before lobbying laws. They'd be working on the Hill and they'd get a phone call from some lobbyist who would be like, "Hey, do you like skiing? Oh, cool. Like, what size are you?" And then a few days later, they'd show up to work and there'd be a full ski suit, skis, everything. And apparently that happened. They just got such an insane amount of free stuff constantly. And they weren't even like, they weren't in significant positions themselves. They were just staffers for congressmen, senators. And it was just listening to that for an hour. They would occasionally throw me a question, and I'm sure I was just like, I don't know, you guys keep talking. This is fucking awesome. Uh, Even with the other lobbyists there, me and Terry still a couple times made eye contact, just laughed. We get the second drink. I down it. The Everyone else leaves besides the first three I introduced. So it's me, Terry, the intern, and the marketing person. We stay there, we chat for a while. Uh, then Terry says, "Y'all want to go to a dive bar?" Like, I've never been to a dive bar somehow. Hell yeah, let's go. Um, Immediately, the other two just kind of, they're not excited for anything. They just tag along. I'm not sure exactly why. They're not very tough. Whatever. Um, we go there. Terry goes up to the bartender. He looks back at us, says, "What do you guys want to drink?" And I said, "Well, we'll have whatever Terry's having." He gets all of us shots of Fireball and Bud Lights. I drink mine so quickly. So I am 8 drinks deep, the shot and the beer, over the course of 4 hours with might as well be an empty stomach. The food I was eating at that place was pretty minimal. Terry is also pounding his. He is gone. He is very hammered. The girls, they have their shots, and then I go to piss. They keep trying to do a bit where they think I forgot to drink my beer and just give me their beer. I just straight up say, "Hey, just give me the beer. I'll just drink it." Like, what the? Why are you guys acting? It was strange. I do. I just remembered this. I was thinking about the story earlier today, but I forgot this. We were sitting inside, but there was an open window right next to us. and it was a guy sitting at a table out there, and I just straight up looked at him and said, "Hey, can I have your water?" At some point, because I realized I hadn't been drinking any water. Dude, why? You know, Terry didn't freak out, but you know the other two did. The guy hooked me up with the water. It was pretty fucking awesome. It was real sick. He hadn't touched his water. It was full glass. He was clearly almost done with his meal. He just wasn't a thirsty guy. So we're there, we're shooting the shit. I am at this point diarrheaing like crazy in the bathroom. Coworkers are worried because I keep going and they're like, "Are you throwing up? Like, you all good?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm all good." And they keep thinking I'm throwing up. And I just straight up have to say, "Dude, I am shitting like crazy style." So far, laughing in my head nonstop about how funny it feels like a made up story of 2 weeks into a real internship office job. Oh, ends up being lobbyists. They're rich. Go get hammered. Tons of free stuff. Um, and already I'm like, there's no way I'm going into work tomorrow because at that dive bar I had at least 2 or 3 more drinks. So we're in double digit territory. Uh, and I'm not handling my booze that well. After a while there, Terry pulls the marketing lady. He says, "Hey, uh, Sarah, maybe? Sarah, come over here. I need to ask you something." He starts whispering into her ear, and she says, "No, Terry, we'll get fired. No, we can't." Immediately, I look over there and I'm like, whatever the fuck Terry's suggesting, we're not going to get fired for. They're all lobbyists. They need, like, they're stupid. Lady was being dumb. Um, and then he asks again, and then she's like, "Oh, if you're sure." And then he looks at us, and I say, "I want to do whatever Terry wants to do." Then it's settled. He calls an Uber Black. By the way, we took an Uber Black there. It was 3 blocks away. This new place, maybe 2 blocks away. Uber Black gets there. He calls Terry. Can't find him. We cannot find him anywhere. I say, "Oh, Terry, let me talk to him." Uh, I pick up the phone. Instantly, accidentally hang up on him. Then we just totally abandon that. Terry waves down a cab. I sit in the back with the two ladies. And the driver, everyone else, I guess, is hammered. They're all being so quiet and weird. And then it's just me and the driver laughing because the driver just keeps pretending to be drunk and keeps talking about how, oh, he just needs one more shot of tequila so he can drive better. Can I pass him one? And then I actively just kept like encouraging him to. He didn't drink. Obviously, he was doing a little bit to make it fun. He would say shit like, "Red means go, right?" And I said, "Yes, go, go, go." He wouldn't do it. He liked his bit, but he didn't know how to keep his word. Fun little taxi ride. Terry looks like he's about to pass out on the front seat. As soon as we get to the destination and get out, he's back alive. Unlabeled building. There's 2 guys standing outside. No fucking idea where we're going. Show IDs, go in. There's a staircase in front of us and a door to the right. The staircase is blocked off. Terry says, "Ah, fuck. What I wanted to show you guys was at the top here." I said, "No worries, Terry. I got you." It was just like 2 metal posts with a rope between them, so I just moved one of them. We went upstairs, and I like this is clearly, oh, Terry, I would have guessed you were lying already, but going up here, it was just a pretty normal bar. It was a little upscale, totally empty. No one's there. No one's working. It's closed off. We're not supposed to be there. And then Terry drops out, "Well, since we're here, we might as well go downstairs." I say, "Yeah, why would we leave? I don't know what is downstairs." We open the door. I don't stop laughing for the next hour and a half. Titties, pussies, everything is out. We're at a strip club. So unbelievable to me. Immediately, Terry, he's been there a million times. You can tell. He looks at the guy, says, uh, Grey Goose, and then just points to a table. And then we go sit there. Terry's got the biggest smile on his face. He's looking around, thrilled. The two girls, they're just kind of whispering to each other, don't look that interested in anything. I look so insane because I'm just laughing. I am audibly laughing. My stomach and cheeks hurt. I almost feel like I'm going to throw up just from laughing. I'm just looking at so many pairs of titties, so many ass cheeks, so many vaginal cavities. Um, I guess not really the cavities. Uh, Instantly, we have two strippers come over with a bottle of Grey Goose and two big jugs of mixers. They ask me what I want. I think for some reason that I'm gonna have to do it myself. Nah, I got a stripper who's kind of touching my hand a little while it's really just pouring two drinks together. It doesn't stir or anything. I'm getting fucking hammered. So we're just there chatting. Terry is acting like, oh, it's just a cool natural spot to hang out. I'm still laughing. The girls say, well, have you never seen a naked girl before? First of all, why would my first reaction to seeing naked women for the first time be nonstop laughter? Second, is this not insane? Like a unbelievably crazy thing to be happening? That your boss just took you to go get hammered and then hammered and then hammered and then hammered at a strip club? Fully nude strip club, which my neighbor at that time was a 46-year-old MILF who really wanted to get intimate with me. I was kind of she would text me shit like, by the way, I'm doing yard work outside, topless. Just wanted to give you a heads up. And my underwear, it's like floss. I hit her back with a thanks for the heads up. But I brought up this story with her at the time. She was so amped. Apparently, full nude strip clubs, either illegal or super rare. Because she was like, "Yeah, I've been to so many in DC, but it's always only titties." But she had a thick Boston accent, so you can imagine how she said that. Back to the actual part of the story. We're just sitting there chatting. Terry keeps saying he had such a good week. He was able to make a lot of money that week because, they get huge salaries, but they also get commissions. Blah, blah, blah. So he just keeps essentially saying, I want to flex some money. He's offering me if I want some cash to, go touch some strippers. It's like, nah, Terry, I'm good. I'm loving this. This is the funniest thing you could have done. Uh, Terry waves over a stripper. But the seating, by the way, is me, Terry, the two girls. Uh, Actually, it might be Terry, me, the two girls. Two girls are just whispering. They're totally doing their own thing. Actually, I don't think the intern was even talking much. It was just the other girl whispering. I keep bringing it up because it's unbelievable to me to waste such a beautiful moment, to not be fully immersed into it was so awesome. Waves over a stripper and says, hey, give Ricky here a table dance. I was like, Terry, no, no, no. I'm good. I don't need that. I don't need that. And he insists, and I say, all right, I guess Ricky will get a table dance. Whatever. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it's not really a directed at type of thing. It turns out it was a stripper came, uh, danced on our table very erotically, tits out. I guess it was geared more towards me because she was like touching my legs here and there. Terry at some point puts his hand right on her thigh and starts squeezing. We got to be like, Terry, chill out. Lady wasn't bothered. Obviously inappropriate, but he was gone. Uh, might be an apt time to mention at every single bar we went to, at least one time he brought up his wife and son. and his son's soccer league and how well he was doing. 'Cause he used to play soccer when he was young too, and he was a star. Um, but now we're at a strip club, and he's grabbing this woman. It's so unbelievable. For this one, I tried my hardest to have a straight face. Whatever, yada yada. She finishes her dance. Underwear came off at some point. She sits down next to me. She's like spooning into me, and we're just chatting. I'm like, hey, I don't really care for all this. You want to just shoot the shit? And she's like, ah, cool. Who the fuck is Terry to you? Is he your dad? I was like, no, this is apparently my boss. I just met him today. We get to chatting. This lady, so nice. Like, seems like such a smart girl. She was studying at Georgetown University for biology. She said the shit was so expensive and she was working at Starbucks 40 hours a week. She found this job, works like 20 hours and made it was something insane. It was like 5 times, 10 times more. Obviously, it's a totally different kind of job, but she was paying off pretty much all of her tuition off of this. Uh, yeah, we just sat down and had a real normal conversation. It was mostly normal. She did just keep rubbing my leg, which was nice. Hey, I liked that. That was a nice part of it. Um, Terry then starts whispering into my ear, and then this is funny. I learned about this the next day, or on Monday actually. I called out the next day. He's also whispering into the other intern's ear that he got a lot of money if we want, he can send us up with the stripper. Uh, so I was like, nah, Terry, I'm good. Nah. Uh, this is awesome because he just didn't offer it to the marketing lady, just to the other two. Uh, obviously declined. Then Terry said, all right, I'll be right back. He then goes up. He finds a different stripper, not the one I was chatting to, but then she left too. I was like, I don't know. We're probably gonna leave. He finds another stripper. They walk upstairs together. I say, hey guys, I'll be right back. Throw up so much in the bathroom. Such an insane amount. Go out. We're all about to leave. I say, hey, marketing lady, you have the company card. Can you get me an Uber? Because I don't want to pay for it. Managed to convince her to. I think 4 times on that Uber ride home, I asked him, hey, can you pull over really quick? He would pull over. I would throw up for 30 seconds, get back in, all good. Uh, I made sure he was tipped real nice. Not my money, company money. They did at some point, they didn't give me a company card, but I got a company card. I used it for years after leaving that job. I would get Uber Eats all the time. I would, for my buddy's birthdays, just say, give me your address. I'll Uber Eats you $200 of food. Yeah, that was the highlight of that position. Every other interesting story was much lesser. And all of them, I'm just thinking them through, had to do with the chief of staff being so funny. Just dropping the hard R when driving me around. Uh, she was very white. She, yeah, just alcoholic who wanted to fuck me. It was pretty lit. I was about that. Well, I wasn't about that. I kind of did the same thing I did to the MILF and be like, oh, thanks for the heads up. Me and Terry, after that, I maybe interacted with him 3 times. Like half a year into it, he got into a huge argument. I don't know. Or he quit. He was yelling up a storm and then never showed up again. So something happened there. Miss Terry, I should. No, I shouldn't. I was going to say I should find him. He would get me addicted to cocaine 100%. And I don't want to do that. Well, I would love to, but I should not. Now I'm straying a little too much. Anyways, lobbying seems like a sick career path if you don't really care about maybe the moral implications and all you want to do is max out your charisma stat and talk to people. So yeah, that thanks for stretching out on this nice big blue couch. I hope you're happy I let you get the long cushion and maybe next time we'll beat Elden Ring.